everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hair Collection Style Tips and Tricks. My name is Angie, and today I'm actually not going to have a chat with you about style tips and tricks. I know lately the episodes have been pretty full on with different style tips and tricks and learning about your actual pear-shaped bodies, so I thought I'd take a bit of a break from it today and talk about something that I find as important as understanding and loving your curves and body type, and that is just getting inspired in general, not just entrepreneurial wise, personal wise, just getting inspired. I know for me personally, if I didn't make some changes I made a couple years ago, pair collections would have never happened. So I thought I would actually take this episode and chat about my journey to doing this and to see hopefully that I can maybe inspire you to just further inspire yourself to do things for you. And the most way that I find inspiration is by reading. And I've actually created a blog about this, which I will link in the episode notes for you today, and just kind of chat through with you how reading has completely altered my life. It all started, basically, I started to think about doing this episode and writing this blog. The other day, I started a new book, which is always very exciting for me. It's kind of like starting a new journey for me. And I started to kind of sit and just reassess where I was a year and a half to 2 years ago. And basically, I was feeling stressed out. I was exhausted. I had no self-confidence in myself personally, body-wise or professionally. And it was starting to really negatively impact my life and my lifestyle and my relationships in my life. And so I started to just think about where I am now. And now I am motivated, I'm focused, but most importantly, I'm really proud of who I've become and the journey I've gone down these last almost 2 years, I would say. What has changed? A million things, really. But the most important thing that has changed is me and how I sort myself. And it's really come from me taking a stand and changing and prioritizing my self-health and self-worth. And I did that mainly by making a clear decision that I needed to upskill my personal development, basically. I needed to start taking responsibility for where I was in my life and actually start doing something about it and improving things that I maybe didn't love about my life or myself. And the best way I found to do that was through self-development and improvement books. Now, if I were to speak to myself 8 years ago, my old self would have been mortified to basically say that I very quickly became addicted to specific kinds of self-help books. But it's completely true. And the reason it's completely true is that it's given me the opportunity to transform my life, myself, and become a better, happier version of myself. And mainly, it's simply because it made me sit down and assess where I was in my life. And if I liked something, why did I like something? If I didn't like something, well, then why didn't I like it? And if I didn't like it, why wasn't I changing it? Which I think is a big aspect in today's society, is that we all have things that we like and don't so much like, but we don't do anything about it. And growing up, that was always the biggest thing I had with my family. If my family were in an argument or they said they hated something or they didn't like this about themselves, I would just go to them and we're like, then do something about it. Like, why do you keep saying this over and over and over again, telling me this over and over and over again, but you're not doing anything about it? So what am I supposed to do? What are you expecting for me to do about this? And as soon as I made the decision to really work on myself, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm complaining about something, but not doing it. And it's just taking the recognition that I was going to start reading these books to improve myself just made me take a hard look at myself and the world around me and helped me to begin to change and to develop myself as a person, not just professionally, but just as a person in general. And it's been completely life-changing. Now, I'm not going to say it was easy. In the beginning, I found it very, very difficult to find the time, quote unquote, the time to sit down and read. It was one of those things, it was hard to find free time that I could allocate to reading. But really, once you sit down and assess it, well, just don't go on Facebook for the 100th time today. Don't just sit there and do nothing watching TV. Actually make the time to give yourself me time. And once I realized that I didn't have a time issue about reading. I had a time issue about prioritizing my me time. And once I realized that, then it became very easy for me to actually schedule in daily me time sessions where I would allow myself to immerse and get into learning and developing my life. Now, in my life, I expect a lot from myself. I help mentor business owners. I support 6 different businesses every single day, including Pear. I do a lot in the day. I also have a partner. We have an active social life. I try and be as connected to my family overseas as possible. We have fur babies that we give ample time to. Just bought a new house. Time is limited, but time is limited for everyone. So no one really has that real excuse that you can't find me time to read. It's actually something I have learned that you can. And typically what I do is I'll sit down and set aside 10 minutes to read, 20 minutes to read, depending on how I'm feeling that day or how my day has gone. By setting just 10 and 20 minutes, it gives me time to sit down, reassess, read something that's going to be of value to me, and just really help focusing on my life and focusing on improving my life, which is what's so important. You need to focus on yourself to make yourself happy before you can make anyone else happy. And that has completely inspired me by just having that time to myself. It has completely changed my life and actually directly impacted me to create Pear. It was because of these books that I was reading and me allocating time to sit down, de-stress, relax, actually get connected with something that's not directly in my bubble of things that I'm already doing. It allowed me to start thinking differently and start reassessing and getting ideas on how I can improve my life. It gave me that time to be self-aware and self-assess me. And it has been invigorating. It has been just, again, I'm going to use the word life-changing. It's been incredible. And it's allowed me to choose. I usually pick inspiring books to read so that it inspires me, gets me in a positive way of mind, gets me in an uplifting mood so I can then do positive, uplifting things to my life. And it helped me believe in myself. And just by scheduling those 10 to 20 minutes a day, it's completely changed the way I look at things. And it helped me come to terms with who I am, what my abilities are, what I love to do, and what I'm passionate about. And that is largely just from the books that I have been reading and just, again, giving myself the opportunity to sit down and focus on me. It has been incredible, and it's something that I would really love you to give a try. Basically, I would love for you to try and create a new light in refinding your passion for reading. I think a lot of us read a lot as kids, and then as we got older and had things to do, we just stopped. For me, example, I think I stopped reading for like 15 years. And then when I started reading again, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I ever stop this? This is amazing. I'm enjoying this so much. And to the point that now, and okay, I usually read more self-help and development books, but I'm talking about reading fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying reading. Your choice of books is yours. I tend to go towards uplifting, positive, more development books, but every once in a while I do tie in just a fun book that's typically been made into a movie, so I can read the book and then I watch the movie as a break, a self-break for me, usually over a holiday. But I'm talking about fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't really matter. Over the last year and a half, I have read about 14 to 18 books. I would actually like to say I know exactly how many books, but I have lost track, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure if I could go through all the books that I have in my house and my library card history, I could figure it out, but it'll take quite a while for me to figure it out. So I'm just going to say 14 to 18 books, because it just, after a while, you just stop counting. But it's been amazing. And again, this is while I am working full time. I am traveling. I travel a lot. As soon as travel was available once again nationally, I was back to traveling every couple months again nationally. When I can, I travel internationally. And again, I have a very active social life. So I'm working a lot, I have an active social life, I travel a lot, but I still just make the time to read, basically. And if I'm really, really busy, I even put it in my calendar and schedule it in with my partner so he knows that I need to have that me time for me to read. And it's just amazing. Now, with me, over the last year and a half to 2 years, I've read typically about 70% of more self-help development books. But Again, it's completely up to you on the kind of books that you want to read. I think the first step is just reading and letting yourself have that time to yourself. It has been so influential to me and so inspiring that, again, Pear Collections would have never happened. This whole Pear community and movement, body positively movement that Pear is trying to create for our community would have never happened if I didn't sit down and go, I need to do this for me. I need to prioritize me. And it's been amazing. And I hope after this episode that has nothing to do with style tips and tricks, it will inspire you to maybe pick up that book that you've been meaning to read, or just, go through. I actually love going through and creating my reading lists. I think that itself is really inspiring, what you might want to read in the next month or 6 months or 12 months. It's exciting and it gives you a goal to do. So I'm going to finish this episode here, but I hope this has been able to help inspire you to get inspired by reading and just make some positive changes towards valuing yourself in your own time. As usual, guys, please feel free to follow us on all of our socials by subscribing, following, liking, commenting, sharing, all the beautiful things. Join our Pear community on our website, where you actually get 10% off, which is pretty amazing by just joining. And also, just connect with us. I love getting involved with the community and meeting you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, love your curves.